anger.
Amidst the smell of opportunity and prosperity, there is also a whiff of exploitation. Sheikh Mohammed's dream is being built by armies of contract workers from South Asia who work 12-hour shifts 6 days a week for an average of $4 or $5 a day. It's more than they can make at home, but human rights groups say they are little more than indentured servants forced to live in substandard conditions. At the end of their shifts, they board buses for the trip to remote desert compounds where they live far from the gleaming towers that they're building. These pictures from a French documentary aired 2 years ago show the squalor. There have been allegations and reports that a lot of labor contractors have brought people into the country and taken advantage of them, abused them.
We had some problem, but we're dealing with it. And now the law is against it, and we're dealing a lot about it.
Sheikh Mohammed says he's dealing with it by building new modern dormitories in compounds for thousands of workers. He says the government has also created a court where workers can voice their grievances, and he told us that tough new laws have been passed to crack down on labor contractors who violate them.
People will go to prison if they keep doing this.
But according to this letter, no one has. Human Rights Watch wrote that it was not aware of a single instance in which an employer had been prosecuted for labor violations.
There have been efforts to improve their situation, but clearly not enough.
Sheikh Mohammed and the government of Dubai say, look, this is a problem that has been created by labor contractors, mostly foreign nationals, that they're the ones that are exploiting these workers, not the people in Dubai. What's your reaction to that?
I'm not sure it's a credible answer.
They want the cheap labor.
Exactly. They want the cheap labor, and it's been working to their advantage.
The worker situation has damaged Dubai's reputation, but it's not the first time Sheikh Mohammed has had a public relations problem. 2 years ago, President Bush approved a deal for one of the Sheikh's companies, Dubai Ports World, to take over the operation of 6 U.S. ports.
This deal wouldn't go forward if we were concerned about the security for the United States of America.
But not everyone saw it that way, and a nasty debate erupted in Congress over whether a company owned by a Middle East sheikhdom should be managing U.S. ports vulnerable to terrorist attacks. The 9/11 Commission report had already pointed out that at least 9 of the hijackers came through Dubai on their way to the U.S., and that funds wired from Dubai were used to finance the attacks.
If the national security could be affected, this law requires an investigation, period.
It was the first time most Americans had ever heard of Dubai, and the controversy didn't end until Sheikh Mohammed decided to cut his losses and sell.
If that's what the American people want, sell to somebody else.
Do you think you got a fair shake out of the ports deal?
I'll leave that to you.
You're disappointed.
As I said, I didn't want to disturb our relationship.
You didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Exactly.
Dubai is still one of the United States' staunchest allies in the Middle East, and it relies on Dubai's ports and shipyards to service U.S. Navy warships in the Persian Gulf. Do you consider yourself friends with the United States?
Yes.
Do you like the country?
I love the country and the people.
What do you like about it?
I like everything about them, except their foreign policy, little bit. I don't like their foreign policy.
Can you be more specific about the foreign policy? What don't you like about the foreign policy?
No, I'll leave it vague, I'll leave it like that.
You like to leave it vague?
I think the American people will know what I mean.
You had conversations and consultations with the United States before the Iraq War.
Yes. You know, we gave the best advice we can to our friends, but as you know, they don't always listen.
Were you against the war?
I was against the war, yes. It was the wrong war.
There are also differences with the U.S. over Iran, which is one of Dubai's closest neighbors, largest trading partners, and one of its biggest investors. Any hostilities in the Persian Gulf could present Sheikh Mohammed with some difficult choices. But for the time being, business is still booming. What do you do when you're not the ruler of Dubai? What gives you happiness and pleasure?
I'll be riding my horses.
You love horses?
I love horses. I love animals.
He owns one of the world's top breeding and thoroughbred racing operations. The morning we were there, he was selecting horses for races all over the world, and some of the world's most expensive thoroughbreds were on display.
Look, here they come into the finish. So, the one with the colors, I told you he won.
Yeah.
These are the best horses in the world.
What is it you love so much about this?
It's my hobby. It's, you know, the horse in my blood. Frankie, how's the filly? You like it?
Stretched out really well.
Of the horses that we've seen today, what are they worth?
Each one of these, if you win what we think you win, will be worth 50, 60 million $.
There was one horse in particular that the Sheikh was interested in.
If you look, they are there. Now they're building up. I expect this to pass this, otherwise I'd be disappointed.
And this day he was not disappointed. No one likes to disappoint the Sheikh, not even his horses.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.